probably not getting this audio very clearly. My son and our friend, was like, "So did you get one?" And I was like, "Fuck no, of course not. Of course I wouldn't." With all the sass that I post, and the fact that I have openly stated numerous times that I will not be buying the new DLC for Destiny. I might get a season if Trials does something miraculous. Um, Unless of course Trials is only accessible with the annual pass, and you have to buy that before it launches. Otherwise, you don't get access. And I kind of think that's a sticking point with some people, that the new dungeons, are not accessible, um, unless you buy the annual pass, and you must do this, of course, before the annual pass becomes viable, because then the dungeons will no longer be attached to the season passes. They're only attached to the annual pass or something like that. It's bullshit, basically, in my opinion. I mean, if you're supposed to be a free to play model now, and unfortunately, there's a shit ton that's behind paywalls. Now, personally, I am totally in favor of Trials and even Iron Banner being behind the seasonal paywall. This does a lot of things. First of all, it reduces the amount of people who are hacking and cheating to flip their accounts for a profit, because it's the only reason why you really cheat, in my opinion, is because you're producing product, um, which in and itself is against the terms of service with the whole Bungie agreement that you make when you go to sign on to this game. So yeah, I mean, personally, I think my own bias towards cheaters is that how insecure you must be with your abilities that you feel the compulsion to have to cheat to get through the content. Um, I always been the kind of person who works with their limits and not against their limits. If it's a limit that you can overtake, then by all means you should be doing your best to struggle up and so-called get good. Um, but realistically speaking, if it's a limit that is just you, it's part of who you are, your physiology, your psychology, or whatever you want to call it, then I don't see the big issue, in just accepting that and moving on. Case in point, I'm not a really good platformer. I played Tomb Raiders 1 and 2 back on PlayStation before they started adding letters and numbers at the end of it, and it was a struggle for me, to be quite honest. Even Super Mario, as ubiquitous of a game as that is amongst gaming communities, um, was a bit of a struggle for me to get into, and to time out the. Oh, I want to be stasis for this, I think. Yeah, oh, here we go. Perfect. Um, I just don't do good on platforming, which is interesting because I started skateboarding when I was 16, 15, and I was not a very athletic skateboarder, but I had the presence of agility and dexterity to be able to not pull off a lot of good tricks, but I can get through a crowded mall pretty easily. Yeah, I'm going to admit that. Granted, it was an open air mall, so it's not like I was inside a building. It was one of those uh, gazebo, I mean piazza kind of places. But anyway, that is neither here nor there, whatever. So yeah, I know my limitations as a platformer. I don't do platforming. This particular activity is okay, But if you put this in a raid and have me and tell me that hey, you have to do this in order to get through the raid, I'm like, what? No, thank you. In fact, during the Taken Kingfall raid, and even Wrath of the Machine, there were moments where they said, well, you could just kind of hang out here and we'll pull you through. Um, and I always felt kind of guilty about that. I felt like Forky, carry me, I'm trash. And yeah, so like I said, that's a limitation, and I work with it. I do activities that don't require a lot of that hippity hoppity jumpy bump. But then there are things that I like to do just for the challenge of it because they're low impact. There's no timer on this. There's no fail and you go to orbit kind of scenario on this. You fall, your character dies, you res, you come back and you do it again. It's just going to take you a little longer. And for me, jumping mechanics like that, those are good. I like that. That's okay. I will do an activity that doesn't put a pressure on things like when they start adding things like flawless to the mix, and people are going, I want to go flawless. I'm like, well, no, I'm not the person you want to have with you for platforming because that's not going to happen. But yeah, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, limitations. So Bungie's put out this call to the players out there, a collection of players, and I'm trying to figure out, what was the qualifying parameters, and I'm telling you, I think it's going to be, I think part of it is going to be those who bought the actual. Oh, I think I fucked up on that. I forgot where I was going. Because I'm talking about shit. I think it's anybody who bought the digital deluxe and the 30th anniversary, because I know both my son and our friend did do this. As I have said, I'm not going to, because the content behind in that is not going to be something that I'm going to want to spend my money on just for the chance at something. Now I know that Gjallarhorn is supposed to be a guaranteed thing, but again, you're still going to have to do a bunch of hoops and jumps to actually, get access to it, I think. Oh, that's what I was talking about, limitations. Working with your limitations and against them. Yeah, cheaters. So the paywall. And like I said, I don't have a problem with the paywall. I am perfectly okay without Gjallarhorn, seriously. And I am perfectly okay without the dungeons. It will be kind of, it'll be a minor bummer for me because I won't be able to play with my son or our friends because they put this all behind a paywall. But it's a choice I have, and it's a choice I make. What I think is BS is that if after the contents come out and you're like, oh wow, this kind of looks really cool, and you want to do it, there are things you won't be able to get now because you didn't buy in day one, which I think is it's exclusionary and it's elitist and all that counter and all that stuff that grates against the freedom that video gaming was supposed to be. And I think that's what really disappoints me in video gaming these days, is that video gaming used to be kind of like this, almost like this punk rock kind of experience. It was something that a few did, and some did really, really well, some did very, very poorly. But it was something that was like, it wasn't like its own little losers club, and it wasn't exactly elitist. But then it started becoming more and more elitist, and I don't get into that. I'm not into gatekeepers. I'm not into being bullied into doing things because that's what people want in their experience. I'm like, yeah, I've been really tempted to try the guided game for the Vault Glass just to see what would happen, and I'm reticent. I am wary of the fact that I'll get in there and they'll be like, oh no, we lost connection because you suck and we don't want to really carry you. I'm like, I'm not going to be there to be carried. I'm going to be there because I want to be, involved in the content, because I do. I like Destiny. I think Destiny's a lot of fun. I wouldn't be here right now, talking smack about the fact that I think that they could do better. because it's true. It's. I mean, yeah, when I criticize Bungie, it's not that I think they're trash. It's that I know they can do better because I've experienced better with them. You know what I'm saying? It's like having your favorite restaurant and then they change a few cooks and then you go back and that meal is just not the same. And every cook brings a little bit of different something to their cooking. That's part of the whole human experience. But when you're talking like a fast food restaurant, I mean, come on, dudes. They're supposed to be uniform for a reason, and it's just kind of disappointing because they're better. It's not that they're trash. You just know that they're better. And I'm just waiting for this to wrap up, and we're done. Plot chest. I get a chest piece. What do you think? Or nothing? Maybe I get nothing this time. Oh, I got a helmet. Okay. Well, too bad. Can I get out of here before? Okay. Yeah, so I wish the Exo Challenge was kind of like a semi-daily thing, like every other day. First time you do it, you get a pinnacle piece with a high stat value. That's not a high stat value. And then the second time you do it, you get a pinnacle piece, average stat value, is just like one I got. And then the third time you do it, you just get legendary materials or a legendary piece of armor, like whatever. And then each time you do it, the reward becomes less and less enticing, so that finally by the time you're doing it, you're just getting glimmer and planetary materials. But you're still doing it. I would be okay with that. I don't get that. I don't understand why they. I mean, I guess I could still go back in, and it would just be materials, right? Wouldn't it? I think it would be. But anyway, so yeah, back to the whole email thing out there. I do believe, like I said, I think they're selecting people who bought the digital deluxe and or the 30th anniversary, people who have been shown to purchase things out of this Eververse store, and I know that that our friend and my son are on an NDA probably because there's like this screening survey that they had to do. It talks about a whole lot of stuff, and it's demographic sorting basically is what it is. And I'm always a little bit wary when a company does these kinds of studies because it's like you want to think that they're doing it because they're really genuinely interested in people opinions and wanting to guide the game towards profitability when it comes to like making what people want. But I think also there's always this temptation with research like this where the researchers want to want to have favorable results. They don't want to see a lot of negativity in there. So it kind of feels like they're really going to be looking for people who are already drinking gallons of the Kool-Aid as it is. They're not going to be interested in players like myself who have critical things to say about them, who think that the game can be better and that there are ways that can be made better very, very simply. Like the first and foremost way is get rid of all the leaderboards. Have your triumphs, have your trophies, have your achievement loot, and all that stuff. But take out the leaderboards. Take out the post-battle carnage reports, or whatever you want to call them. Don't have a leaderboard, especially after PvP. Maybe there's a ranking that's somewhere um, that's being tracked by some third-party website, or maybe it's like a personal ranking on your own end. But I think leaderboards breed too much in-team competition. Um, if you're going to have a leaderboard, then it should be your whole team points versus the enemy team points or the opponent team points. Especially I'm talking about PvP and Gambit. I don't think there should be a leaderboard at the end of strikes. There should be like your team efficiency was 2.5. And that's an average over the three players. Your number of orbs of power generated 250. That's the whole team. I think bounties should be should also be, team based. All bounties should be team based. Now, especially in 3-man fire teams, especially I'm talking like Vanguard stuff, like the Strikes and the Nightfall, should be team based bounties. As a fire team, do X. As a fire team, do Y. Um, there shouldn't be any final blows, with the exception of like finishers or ability kills. But when it says like eliminate champions or defeat opponents with precision damage or things like that, I think that when it comes to if they want to promote the gunplay more and kind of guide us away from a reliance on abilities and supers, which is ridiculous because a tool's a tool. You use the right tool for the job. You don't try to saw a plank of wood with a hammer. I've done it. It doesn't work. Um, well, it works, but it's not clean and it takes forever. But so you use the tool appropriate to the job, and if a grenade is going to get the job done, then use a grenade. If the grenade is more powerful than the weapons you have, then don't nerf the grenade, buff the weapons. Or make it or like demolitionist. You throw the grenade, the weapon gets a perk. You fire the weapon, the grenade gets a perk. I like that. It's demolitionist and drill seeker. I can't remember the other mod. I don't use it. So yeah, first and foremost, take off the leaderboards. Make it be a team evaluation and not an individual's measurement of skills. If you want to track your skills, you'll know if you're good or not. You'll know if you're doing well or not, and people will know if somebody's slacking or not. If you want to do something, at the end, you could do post-activity voting as an option. Not something you have to do, but as an option. Because like right now we have player reporting, but we don't. Back in Destiny 1, we used to be able to. I'll report one of my clan guys here. Um, you can report the players, but it's all negative. Back in Destiny 1, you had positive, reporting as well. And I don't know what's the point of this if you have no way of being nice to someone. Why should we just be mean to someone? See, what I'm saying is that this game is geared far too much with the competitive shit and not enough with the cooperative stuff. If it's a shared world shooter, that means I'm sharing this world with other players. See these little blue block boxes and name tags? That's what I'm talking about here. So that means that if I'm in a fire team with 3 or more of these people, we should all be sharing the load. We should all be doing, things together. Instead of, well, I mean, Shaxx is the only one I think that does fire team based bounties. Um, defeat opponents while assisted or assisting other. There's a team. There's a team bounty. Defeat opponents using energy wisdom. That's going to be me final blows. That's going to have to be me final blows. That's going to have to be me final blows. You see what I'm saying? It's 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 too competitive. I think Destiny is too competitive. There's not enough cooperative in the game. And no, you can't count Vanguard Strikes and Gambit as cooperative because everyone's see none of these are shareable. None of these are shareable or transferable. Um, Stop calling the game an MMORPG. It's not an MMORPG. It's not. It's not. It's not even a sandbox game because you're on dark rides every activity you do. Gambit, you got to do one thing. Raids, you're doing one thing, and if you don't do it exactly the way the raid wants you to, you go back to start. You know, Part of the reason why I don't play Super Mario World, or Crash Bandicoot, or Ratchet and Clank, or any of the other classics. Part of the reason why I don't play those anymore is because they're dark rides and they're very specific solutions. I like a game that's like a Rubik's Cube. There's only one solution, but you can get there any way you can, any way you want, and it can take you as little time or as long as you want. And that's the other thing too. Stop with the stupid phase bosses. That's not content. Dragging shit out does not make content. Making me go on a sprint simulator through a fucking strike, I'm looking at you, Corrupted, does not make content for me. There you go. As a fire team, there's a group one. Complete a Gambit match, that's just being AFK, really. Primevals, you gotta do some work there. Alright. Again, this is cooperative. Gambit has the most cooperative bounties in there of all 3 activities, but that presence of the leaderboard is just pushing everybody to compete with their own fire team. And that, to me, that's the same as cheating. It's lazy. And that's the real problem that I have with it. That's why, like I said, on the one hand, I'm actually, no, I'm going to do some Gambit. On the one hand, I'm totally supportive of the paywall for Trials and Iron Banner because I don't think I do believe that it's going to reduce the number of people who do account recoveries. It's going to reduce the number of people who are looking for easy carries. Um, but then again, it's like, I don't care if I load into an activity and I'm the only one putting in effort and everybody else is just kind of like coasting. It's not going to be any sweat off my ass, to be honest. Because number one, I don't care about trophies. I don't care about leaderboards. I don't care about triumphs. I don't care about hidden rewards or other than bullshit. I'm here to play a game. I'm here to have fun. I'm here to enjoy myself and amuse myself and pick apart the mechanics and play the meta and all that kind of fun stuff. And that's kind of it. I mean, yeah, a little bit of role play here and there, no big deal. Um, but yeah, take out the leaderboard. Also, the one of the big things I've been on about forever: put power levels back on the players. Don't make it be part of your gear. Stop making it be part of your gear. Get it off the gear. Stop making us chase Apex gear. What we should be doing with our gear is farming for stats and rolls, perks and stats. We shouldn't be doing. This is all strikes, right? Yeah, it's all strikes. Okay, so that's pretty much garbage. And I can't pick up bounties while I'm here on the. I was going to pick up the planetary bounties because you could do the EDZ and the SS ones, and sometimes they coincide. We just have to get blank kills, and that helps. So yeah, I collect XP because I'm collecting bright engrams, and I do activities because I like doing them. I don't need to do them for gear anymore because after 8 months in this season, well, actually not even this season. I mean, take a look at what I got here. This is the only thing I've gotten out of this season, out of this expansion. Well, that's the exotic, the BFD. I don't really use it, except for when the gunsmith calls for it. Um, but yeah, this, actually no, this is okay. This is okay. Fucking A, dude. This thing is a beast. I love this gun. It's the only thing that I've gotten this year that has actually been worth holding on to, in my opinion. And if it gets sunsetted, I will not be deleting it. I will basically hold on to it. I don't care if it's never going to be higher than 1330. It'll be worth taking the 10 point, 20 point drop just to have that weapon in my hand. And what's that do? That I mean, it does. Does it? The fact that I'm completely satisfied, with the exception of this gun here and this bow, I would like to get something more than shoot to loot. I think shoot to loot's kind of a dead perk, honestly. I know a lot of people like it because of the content, but you know, allies nearby, yeah, that'll be workable. I got fiberglass arrow shaft and high tension string and polymer string. I'd like the elastic string on this just for the speed, but that accuracy though, fucking A. Doesn't matter though if the game's lagging out or someone's using hacks or aimbots. That's not going to stop them. That's the thing though. There's so much cheating in this game. It's so tedious. And I know Battle Eye is supposed to be the solution, but I haven't seen any. I have not seen any improvements in the game, and I am not a big fan of crossplay because it's not working in my opinion. There are so many times where I'm in a lobby with nothing but PlayStation guys, and we're fighting with Xbox guys or even Cloud Stadia people, and it's like I can't kill them, you know. I go into invade and I do my thing and nothing happens, and I'm like, this is really annoying. You're not gonna die, so guess what? I don't care. I have to remember I only have the stompies. Let's see how many people come out here to help. Well, there was somebody. Oh, bad timing. Are you doing that on purpose? I mean, really? Come on. It's not necessary, is it? I mean, really, there's enough motes for everybody. And stop hitting me just because I took motes. You stole a bunch from me. I don't play with the DualShock on because it's distracting. Pardon me while I get out and reload a little bit. I do the 15 modes on the first game of the week because it's fun. And it gets us a fucking invasion portal. And it puts a fucking triple hit flocker on their ass. I was gonna say, buddy, if you don't invade on that, you're not playing the game. Okay, what are we doing here? Why were you just drilling the shit out of me? There's nobody else there? Apparently. I must have procced the fucking shriekers because I dropped a big blocker. Yep. That happens. That's why I won't pay for the game. You know, I've paid enough into Bungie. I bought every single collector edition from Destiny 1. I bought all the digital deluxes from Destiny 2 up until this new one that's coming up. I didn't buy that, obviously, as I said. And I'm just done. I'm done giving money to a game that does not support, or that basically feels like I'm being punished for just, you know, playing a little bit more, you know, effectively than others. It's not my fault. Ugh. You know, since about the end of the Red War campaign, it's been feeling like Bungie just doesn't want me playing. I know that sounds crazy. I know that sounds crazy. It is crazy sounding. I know that. But it feels like that, you know? It just does. And I don't get it. And it's like there's no reason to be like that, you know? Like, as I've mentioned so many times, I'm not calling Bungie trash. I don't think their game is trash, but I do believe it can be better. Because it's been better. That's the point. Seriously. So, if anybody's gotten to this far watching this, and you do happen to be on that week-long little data collection, really think about what they're asking and what you're saying. You know, if you genuinely have a fantastically good time because you're always in a fire team, you're always LFGing for some group activity, because I know that's what Bungie really wants us to do. They don't like it when we stag. You know, they have freelance this and freelance that, but really what they're doing is they're just trying to get numbers in the game. That's what they're trying to do. Because honestly, if there wasn't freelance anything, I'd probably still be playing and just be playing, you know, off mic, pretty much. Um, I don't think that it's, you know, I don't know. It's hard to say. Truly difficult. This shouldn't be. Alright. If I had an active chat. Why are they all hiding back here? You know I'm just going to keep coming after you. Wow, he just went all the way up to the sky. Warlock? Yeah, Warlock. What the fug? Oh, no, Titan. Cool.
That wasn't me, Sergio. See what I'm talking about? See, I'm being competitive right now. It wasn't me. I didn't do it. When a person says that, that means that they're being okay. You got him, cool. And that's one. Well, anyway, that's all there is to that. But there we go. That's what I've been farming for. Silly, huh? Jeez. They rolled twice, but I got something. An emblem? What is that? Oh, this is cool. Archangel's Might. Kind of neat. I don't think it's worth it. I want to be done. Sound design in Bungie and Destiny used to be really, really good too. But now it's kind of like all this. It sounds like those digital slot machines. You know, it comes off like a freaking app game. It really is. It is. Destiny has become an app game, um, and that's kind of the way it feels. So, do we do anything but this? That is not a fiddler's dance. Give me a break. Yeah, like maybe if you're like 90. That is not a fiddler's dance. Sorry, don't buy that. That's a waste. What do we got here? Rochambeau, yay! That's kind of cool. That's funny because like the hand signal doesn't even match up. Da, 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 da. Ooh, nice. That's kind of cool. Just gives it a different color. Honestly, I don't think. What is this about? I am Groot. Don't press the big red button. Yeah, this is that ship is pretty nice, but yeah, there's really nothing in the store for me this week. I'm not feeling it. Yeah, well, thanks for stopping by. Be cool to each other. I dare you to play a month of Destiny without even once looking at the aftercards report, the leaderboard, or worrying about your KDR. Dare you. See how you feel afterwards. Does the game mean the same thing to you as it did before?